Hi VC, this is Chris. I'm back to do part 3 of this series I started about solo keyboard. Part 1 was sort of jazz oriented. Part 2 was in between jazz and classical. And so this is a more classically oriented portion of it. Start off with some CDs and one that I should have shown in part 2. Frederick Razoo Ski. Razoo Ski plays Razoo Ski. This is a 7 CD box set of Mr. Razoo Ski playing his own music. Some of this, I've shown before on vinyl, but this is a more comprehensive version. This is on Nonesuch label from 2002. And then this one was Carm showed this, Gorvo 31, Cecil Chan LP that he'd found. Or actually, it was 2 female artists on one record. But this is piano music of Cecil Chan, played by Peter Jacobs. This is from issued in 1992. I said I'd found the actual album that he showed, but this is some other music that I had related. And then another one, more modern, Alfred Schnittke, played by Boris Berman. This is Works for Piano. This is on the Chandos label from 1998. And then still modern, Ignace Xenakis. Works for Piano. This is on the Mode label, 1999. Mode is, has some interesting releases. They put out a lot of John Cage or reissues of John Cage music. And so Xenakis, he does a lot of electronic type compositions, but this is solo piano. And then Toru Takemitsu. Peter Serkin is the pianist on this. This is RCA from 1996. And then this is a good one. Carl Orff, Carmina Burana. This is normally a big orchestral type piece with a lot of vocal parts, but this is the solo piano version of it. But you can really identify, even the piano's playing this. This is done by Eric Chumanochenko. And this is on the Wergo label, 1992. Wergo also puts out a lot of good modern classical or avant-garde type pieces. And the last CD is really going back. This is Franz Liszt. He has transcribed all of Beethoven's 9 symphonies. So these are solo piano works of symphony orchestral pieces by various pianists. It's just a collection they put together to gather all these up. This was on Harmonia Mundi from 1995. This is a 7 CD set. So 9 symphonies squeezed onto 7 CDs. And then we get into some of the classical music is just transcriptions of other artists. Sometimes they have some improvisation done. Sometimes it's just composed music. This is Igor Stravinsky, music for piano. This is just solo piano. Noah Lee plays the piano. Stravinsky also had done some, operas and orchestral works, and with solo piano versions of those. I don't have any of those at the moment, but this is solo piano by Igor Stravinsky. And then here's Michael Ponti is the pianist, and this is titled Opera Paraphrases. So various operas were done in transcribed for solo piano. Mozart, Verdi, Offenbach, Tchaikovsky. Michael Ponti, this is on the Turnabout label from 1977. This Stravinsky album, that was on Nonesuch from 1968. And then here's another one, lyric repertoire for the dance. Colette Astruc is the pianist. So this is lots of various artists that have done songs for dance. Just like we've had a lot of modern composers do things for ballet or dance companies. Some are piano, some are guitar, some are just ambient pieces. But here's a classical music version of the same thing. This is on Musical Heritage Society, which I don't think they're in business anymore, but this is from 1980. And then we get back into a composer, Dmitri Shostakovich, playing six Preludes and Fugues on the Seraphim label. This is Shostakovich playing his own music rather than just having someone do it for him. So it's always interesting to hear the composer himself performing his own music. This is from 1966. Seraphim label. And then another composer doing his own works, Ignis Paderewski at the piano. He plays his own songs plus ones by Beethoven, Chopin, Liszt, Mendelssohn, and Schubert. This is a 4 LP set on Murray Hill label from 1972. So Paderewski at the piano. And then German composer Max Reger, again on Musical Heritage Society. This one's from 1976. Richard Laugs is the pianist, and you might be able to see what the titles are. First one's in German, Jugendzeit, and then Improvisations. And then there was another one by Max Reger, keyboard music on the same label, Musical Heritage Society. This is 1974 with Hans-Dieter Bauer as the pianist. And then we come over to American composers. Charles Ives, the Concord Sonata. John Kirkpatrick is the pianist. This is on Columbia. forgot to note what the year was, but it'll be in the notes. According to the liner notes, this second piano sonata, subtitled Concord Mass, 1840 to 1860, about 4 parts, and they're on based on art, literary works. Emerson, Hawthorne, the Alcotts, and Thoreau are the subtitles of the 4 parts. And this seemed to be a work that he was constantly revising throughout his life. So there are many revisions of it, many different versions. It was never completed. According to Mr. Ives, I guess, he always saw something to change, which sounds very engineer-like to me. It's on the Columbia label. And then another fairly modern artist that I've shown before, Kaikhosru, Sorabji, Opus Clavissime Ballisticum. This is a one work for solo piano, 4 LPs, so it's almost 4 hours for this one work. The pianist is Geoffrey Douglas Madge. This is on the Royal Conservatory series label. Came out in 1983. And then coming down the home stretch, Paul Hindemith. With the pianist Paul Badura Skoda. This is Piano Sonatas 1 and 2, solo piano works on the Westminster label. This is from 1956. And it has been said that Paul Hindemith was influenced by Max Reger. I'm not sure about that, but it's been written, so it's probably true. And then we have Richard Wagner. These are piano transcriptions by Glenn Gould, the Canadian pianist. They're orchestral showpieces. It's said a pianistic tour de force by Glenn Gould. This is on Columbia label from 1973. And then finally, Charles Valentin Alkan, as played by Raymond Lowenthal, who had his own series of doing artists that he liked. So this is a funeral march for Papagayo and other grotesqueries of Alkan. This is on Columbia from 1971. So, good thing about all these, most of these classical albums, they have a lot of write-up describing the works and each piece on there. But this one, also looks like it was a good prototype for rock and prog music of the future, just the way they present it. So, Alkan, these are the first recordings of this particular piece, piano work. So, thanks, and I'll be back. There might be 2 more pieces to this series. One will be more modern composers, and then the final one, unless I run across a bunch more records, will be music for 2 pianos. So, thanks everyone, and I'll see you later.